Hey everybody, good evening. I'm Latoya and I talk about faith, family, and business. And tonight I just wanted to talk to you really quickly about encouragement. I know a lot of times, especially here lately, people are talking about how hard it's been to just trust and believe in God because of just disappointments and being brokenhearted. I know brokenheartedness oh so well, and I know how it feels to just ask God, like, question him, like, are you there? Like, do you love me? Do you even care about what my life looks like at the moment? And if you're real with yourself, you can say the same things as well. Like, sometimes people can have toxic positivity and say, oh, things are always well for me. No, I want to talk to the real people who question, like, are things really working out how they should? Are you in the right place at the right time? Are you around the right people in the right spaces? And so, with that being said, earlier today I was talking to everybody about seeing is not believing. A lot of times you may see things going on in your life and you're wondering, like, God, this didn't work out how I expected for it to work out. Like, why am I facing this particular situation? Why is it working out like this? I thought I would have had this by now. And don't get on social media and then start to look around and then you start to feel worse about yourself because you have the spirit of comparison. Comparison is a thief of your joy. So I don't want you to get on social media and doom scroll and look at other people's lives and see what's working out for them and then question, like, why hasn't this happened for me yet? Or why is this happening for them and not me? I pray, I fast, I do this, I do that, because that's the wrong stance to have. What if God is still processing your blessings? What if God is still getting whatever you need to get straight within you? What if he is testing you and to see how grateful you'll be when he gets ready to bless you? What if that's the season that you're in? And so that's the main reason, the whole point of this message is seeing is not believing. Faith, by definition, is faith is the substance of things hoped for, but the evidence of things not seen. That means that you won't see it all the time. Just like the book of the Bible, where this famous Bible story where Abraham, he goes up, he follows the directions to goes up. He goes up on this mountain and he's going to sacrifice his God-given son. His name was Isaac. And so as he's going up, I'm pretty sure it was a silent walk. And his son was probably asking, like, so who's the sacrifice? Because, you got to have a sacrifice if you're going to go up to say you're going to do a sacrifice. Well, it was just him and his son. And I'm pretty sure Isaac was like, so are we going to get the sacrifice along the way on this mountain? And I'm pretty sure he did not know that he was going to be that sacrifice that Abraham had to offer up to God. But I'm so glad that Abraham was humble enough to understand, to listen and be sensitive to what God was saying at that very moment. Because what if he had not tuned his ears to pay attention to what God was saying? He got up there on that mountain and was getting ready to lay Isaac out and sacrifice him. And then, boom, there was a ram in the bush. Aren't you grateful that Abraham looked around and he was paying attention to all of the signs and the symbols and the signals that was happening at that very moment? That's Rhema. Rhema means a right now word, because your blessing is being able to get the instructions, the directions, and then the instructions. So let me break that down. A bishop used to come to our family house years ago, and he had to travel like over an hour and 30 minutes to come to our house, and he dedicated his life to be able to do Bible studies in our family home to just kind of help me to get through what I was going through at that point in time. I was just starting to go through a divorce. I had my oldest daughter, I had my son who was 19 months old, and then I had my brand new baby. And so life had just crumbled up to pieces. But one of the things that he wanted to do was to just kind of offer that time back up, because he had told me that everything was going to work out with my marriage. But in the end, it actually did not. But I was very, very angry at that point in time because I was like, well, your prophecy wasn't right. And I had to get off of my high horse and realize that God didn't want it to work. And also, we have free will. So that means that the prophecy went out. Yes, the marriage was supposed to end up and it was supposed to work out, but you have free will. So if the other party does not want to make sure that it works out, that means that that person has the free will to go. And so I'm believing that that bishop, he felt pretty bad, and so he dedicated his time to come down back and forth into town to share his thoughts about what the word of God was saying for our life at that time. Now, he talked about how there was a time to sacrifice, and he said that there was instructions and directions. You need directions to get to where God tells you to go, but then you want to ask God for the instructions for when you get into the place and of where he told you to be, what to do when you finally get there, because it's a two-part situation. What if you only asked for the directions and you didn't get the instructions of when you got there? And sometimes God would do like a GPS and just give you turn by turn signals, and other times he'll just tell you to go. And it's almost like building train tracks as you walk. And that's what faith looks like. It's not quite built out in your purview. So that means you may not know everything right as it's happening, but you have to trust God through the process. So I want you all to understand that you have to tune your eyes and your ears to what God is saying about your life at every single twist and turn, ups and downs. And another major important thing that this bishop taught us, he is now the late bishop because he passed away back during the pandemic of COVID. And he was talking about whether it is up or down in life. I don't care if you have the real highs versus the real lows in life. He said you need to remain straight. What that meant for me, and I now understand more and more as I've gotten older, regardless of whether things are going extremely well for you or whether things are going extremely bad for you, you have to understand that you need to remain stable through it all. Because if you are rocked by emotion, you'll be rocked by rejection as well, okay? So I hope this message helps somebody. Make sure that you continue to pray through it all, because they're going to be, in life, you're going to have ups and downs. Sometimes it's going to seem like it plateaued out. Sometimes you're going to be angry and you're going to be praying and wondering like, God, where are you? And other times you're going to be euphoric and everything is working out beautifully for you. But don't get caught up in the ups or the downs, I promise you, because life will happen. But it's not that life will happen. It's how you process life. Just like that, last thing I'll leave you all with. Attitude is 90% of how you act versus 10% of what happens to you. I hope everybody enjoyed this message. Please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.